Hi, everyone. We are welcoming back one of our favorite artists, James Robert Webb.
That's so
Good
sweet.
afternoon.
Hi, Mary Kay. Hey, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
How's CMA Fest been for you?
Oh, it's been crazy, but it's been awesome.
Can you reintroduce yourself a little bit to our fans from last year?
I'm James Robert Webb. I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I'm a country music artist.
Any other little secrets?
Well,
No.
I rode in on the same plane as Ashton Kutcher when I came in here. That's my claim to fame right now.
That's your
I think
claim to
everybody was
fame.
because he's like all around the town.
Well, I don't know if I'd be saying that. That's
No, I'm
okay.
just teasing.
So what have you been doing since your first CD was Pictures?
So my first CD was Pictures, came out last year in April, I think, and then we just released my follow-up album called Honky Tonk Revival in April, right? This year, yeah. So we got featured on iTunes with that, and the single Six Strings and the Truth got featured on iTunes, which was like a double blessing. So
Yeah, it was up there pretty high, too.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, we got in the top 10 on the pre-orders on iTunes with the single, which was amazing. So
And do you feel social media has also been a part of that big push?
I think so. Yeah. Because even if you're a touring artist, think about it. You don't go to every town, right? I mean, not everybody from every little town like where I grew up in Kellyville, Oklahoma, is going to go to Oklahoma City or Tulsa to see somebody comes through there. So they'd either hear it on the radio before the internet, but now with all social media, then it doesn't matter. You can be from Tussle, Oklahoma, and learn about all these different artists. So
Now, do you feel you're more grounded being from a smaller town?
I think
As a person?
so. I mean, definitely. I mean, my family, I come from a working class family. My mom's a school teacher. My dad's a sheet metal worker, construction. And, that's always finding work and stuff like that. We come from just kind of regular people background. I grew up on like a little 10-acre farm. It was an FFA and 4-H and did all that small town stuff, and Roundup Club. And so that kind of tied me back probably more to my grandparents, because they grew up in the Depression, and so I think that kind of worldview has kind of affected me and the way I've kind of lived my life.
Now, what have you learned from Pictures
Pictures?
till your CD now?
What I learned, I would say the biggest thing is that during the recording of Honky Tonk Revival, the new album, I wrote most of the songs on this one as I've developed as a writer. And so there's a lot more of me on that, and then I took a more active role in production, like the music and the tracks. And when we got in the studio with me to sing, that's kind of really where I kind of finally found my voice with my producer Daniel Kleindinst, and just kind of building on all this other stuff that people have been, helping me with. Because I've only been singing like 5 years. Okay, that's why I had to keep reminding myself. So I finally have kind of stripped away that karaoke stuff, because I think if you listen to the radio, there's a lot of people that try to sound like, the superstar act or whatever. But I've always liked the people that sound different, like Willie Nelson or Merle Haggard or whatever. Just because their voices may not be the quality of their voice, it's just that they're who they are. And I think I've probably really found more of that on this album than before, which is really exciting.
Now, I know you're a big George Jones fan, and you picked the song "He Stopped Loving Her Today." Why that one?
We were looking at just doing some covers, because one of the things that I always read that Garth Brooks had said Alan Reynolds told him to just record record as much as you can, and then that's kind of how you find where you live and stuff. And so we record a lot of covers, partly so that my band would have an idea of how to play them a little bit different, more the way that I heard it, and then also kind of to do, because I love when people put covers on their albums, right? Look at like Alan Jackson, George Strait. I mean, they did tons of covers. Like people think "Tall Tall Trees" is Alan Jackson's song, and Roger Miller's song or whatever. So sometimes that people have that deep emotional connection with songs, and when you have a great song like "He Stopped Loving Her Today," then that allows me to kind of show my emotional connection with the song, and then hopefully that resonates with somebody. And my take's going to be completely different than George Jones.
You did an amazing job.
Well, thank you.
You did a totally amazing job. I've gotten the CD and I've played it every day since I've received it.
You're so sweet.
It's country. It's country music. So how do you know, like when you write your songs and you have them hanging there or in your back pocket, how do you know, let's bring this one out, let's bring that one out? Is it a...
It's a process.
Yeah.
I mean, if we have different songs and we're trying to figure out what we're going to cut, you have to live with songs a little bit, but also you're trying to get the album out again so that fans have something else in the cycle. And so, I've written hundreds of songs over the last year, and I haven't demoed very many other than the ones that I put on the album. Usually it's the ones that speak to me, and I like to put songs that are. I like to have a variety of things, because when I listen to an album, I like to hear it like kind of crafted like an experience, and have some stuff that's fast and some stuff that's slow and some stuff that's lighthearted like Man on a Mission, and stuff that's really serious like Falling Star or something like that, because I like those kind of well-rounded albums, and that's the type of music I enjoy listening to. So you get a list together, and then you're like, okay, well, what's missing, or do we have one too many of this kind of song or whatever.
Okay.
And sometimes we go back and rewrite, like the song American Beauty, maybe one of my favorites that we wrote on that album. We had cut the demo and actually tracked the master and everything. Sorry, that's all this music jargon. So we'd recorded the band, and I was going in to sing it, and we're just kind of like, well, should we go back and try to rewrite it because it's such a great song? Is there, can change a word here or change a word there and kind of make it even better? And we went through a bunch of different versions, just came back to what we had. And sometimes that's, learning that about song. When a song's done, it's done. And I think it's kind of complete there. So.
Now, you're also a physician.
I am.
So how do you balance the two between getting out there, performing, getting your music done, and running your life?
The hardest balance for me is being a musician and being a father, really, because I have 3 kids. They're 12, 9, and 6 now. And so staying, I try to make it a point to be at home and not doing anything else at least 2 to 4 days a week. So how, balancing that is kind of tough. The physician thing is really just kind of compartmentalizing, because sometimes those things bleed over. Like yesterday, when we had our interview was kind of delayed. I was sitting out with an intern in Victoria because we had some trouble with our credentials. And I said, well, if we can't get in the building, there's a reason for that. And then about 5 minutes later, I had one of the CT tech texted me from Tulsa because I had a patient who had some unexpected findings on a CAT scan. Mm-hmm. And so I had to kind of stop my day there and, take care of that. If I was about to walk on the stage at CMA Fest, that might have been an issue. It's something that could have waited, but it doesn't bleed over too much like that. That's a very dramatic kind of thing where she could have had problems. And so I had to get another physician to take care of her at the moment. But, it's, you got to be a musician, you got to be a doctor, because it's just like, if I'm working at the tire shop, I'm putting on tires during the day. When I get home, I'm the dad. Hopefully I'm not thinking about tires or whatever. So we kind of compartmentalize that, but things also influence. I get a lot of things from my doctoring experience and things that I've learned from patients and stuff that influence what I write in songs and why I write songs.
Now, do your patients hear your music? Do you stream it in your office?
We usually stream like my Pandora station, which usually has like a lot of Garth and Willie Nelson and George Strait, that kind of stuff, and I come up there and we, like in procedures and stuff, we usually let the nurse pick that, so she kind of changes things. But so patients always want me to sing to them, and I'll usually sing them to sleep.
If you pay your copay, I'll give you a CD. Is that the deal?
That's a good point.
That might work.
I don't know. Maybe we should do that.
Maybe. Hey, I'm in the industry. I can tell you, we need copays.
Right. Absolutely. We need to do something with all this mess. Gosh. All the red tape there, it's so crazy, and so it's a nice balance to be able to create and to entertain, and to connect with people through music, as an alternative. But with all the red tape in medicine, it's such a great experience for me to be able to change people's lives, to help them.
Yeah.
Make a significant impact with them. So.
Now, is this your second CMA Fest?
Something like my third or fourth, I think.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
you got pretty busy rest of the weekend lined up, or?
Yeah, today we're going out. We got a bunch of media stuff, like this wonderful interview here. High country music matters to people. I'm glad we got to talk. So after the media stuff, we're doing a parking lot party down in Music Row. So it's away from, if you haven't been here, CMA Fest is kind of in downtown Nashville for the most part. And our songwriting, like the banner music, they're like putting on a concert down there at Music Row, which is kind of where the music industry is. So like by Warner Brothers and Word Records and all those kind of places down there. So that's going to be fun, playing out there tonight. And then tomorrow I'm playing the Bridgestone Arena tomorrow at the Music City stage. So that'll be fun, doing an acoustic set there at 11 in the morning. And then we're doing a fan club thing. So we have a lot of people in the fan club, the Webbers, that are come in and like, I can't remember how many of them were that won are coming in. We're doing like a lunch and limo thing.
Oh, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That so it's going to be like your redneck tour guide, you know. So we have a limo and we're going to be going around town. I'll be showing you all this stuff. Okay, well, this is where Elvis.
Yeah.
So
it could be another
we'll
career.
See. Yeah, exactly.
So I think this album that you've come out with now has gotten, I think it's gone like crazy. I mean, I think the reviews have been, I just see quite a push in it, quite a great feedback on it. Did that like overwhelm you, or did that like? I know you had to be thrilled.
I've been thrilled. I mean, because I've always been a realist, and you know, I've known like when I started. I mean, I've known that I'm here at this place. I'm trying to get to this place as far as developing, like trying to get good at anything. And to have the reviews just be like really overwhelmingly positive is just a real blessing. And so I think to actually for it to be so accepted among Music Row, especially since I don't even live in Nashville, you know, I'm a commuter basically. That's really honoring to me as well, because. And the whole reason come to Nashville is because that's where the best songwriters in the world are, and that's where people that make the best music in the world are here. So I'm just privileged to be part of that, you know, and to be able to create my art in that setting, and then to actually get, you know, I wasn't expecting to get like, you know, rave reviews and stuff. So I'm thrilled beyond belief with that. I mean, I know my fans love it, but you know.
To get that step up recognition is always good.
It's humbling. I mean, it makes me know I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And it makes me know that my path to be true to who I am.
Yeah, that's
more and more.
That's hard. That's getting harder and harder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you have to go. It's going against the grain, really, right now. I mean, who I am is. Last year I would have said it's 180 degrees and 5 miles away from what's on country radio. Mm-hmm. Now we have Chris Stapleton and Brothers Osborne are kind of breaking and Midland, and a lot more traditional artists that are getting radio play now. So, and at the same time I've got really great feedback with Six Strings and the Truth. But I picked that one intentionally because it's a little polarizing. It's different. I wrote it by myself, and it's almost kind of like a be yourself anthem kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so it's the stations that love it. And we have a lot of stations that aren't playing it that that have been on my other records and stuff. But I'm sure they'll come around. But it's okay. You don't have to. I don't like every George Jones song. So, but it's kind of interesting. I hope they see that's that resonates. That I'm trying to be who I am. As we kind of peel away the layers of being like Levin Brooks and Dunn, and everybody else.
Yeah. So what's the rest of the year look like? Although it's almost over, but
well, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to church camp next week. So after going for CMA Fest, I'm taking my 12-year-old. Actually, we're taking all the kids, and my wife and I are cooking for our church at Falls Creek, this church camp, and then I'm back and doing stuff. So like the day that ends, I drive to Oklahoma City, and I'm playing at like the Made in Oklahoma Festival, and then we're like we're back here at the Frisky Frog, and so we're just like here and there all over the country kind of stuff, and just kind of wait until I get to where I'm kind of doing a more coherent tour. But right now it's great because it's you don't have to. I don't have to be like on the road for 3 months at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
I can just we can go here, we can go there, and just kind of focus on the fans that are there, which is really cool.
Well, James, thank you for coming back this year and spending some time with us. We love your new music, and we will be keeping an eye on you.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Have a great CMA Fest.
Bye.